Hi everyone, welcome to another tutorial of this Python course. In today's video, I would like to explain you about exception handling in Python. So, like every programming language, we have to handle some exception. First of all, I would like to tell you people that the syntax error is different and the exception is different. Generally, syntax error occurs because we make syntactical errors in our code, and this is generally done by code writer or a programmer or developer. So let's take a very simple example of syntax error. Then we will jump to exception part. What is exception? Exception hierarchy in Python. So let's take. I will give a equal to 4, b equal to 9. I want to print a plus b, but I'm not giving this here. And I will try to execute the program. You can see syntax error. This was never closed, so it's asking me to close this bracket and then it will execute properly. Then what is the exception? Let's see this. So you can see zero division exception, division by zero exception. This is a exception class, zero division error. So let's start the exception thing. Why exception? That is, exception is an unexpected event that disturb the normal flow of program. In Python, there is many types of exception like zero division error, value error, file not found exception. Many exceptions are there, arithmetic exception or OS exception. These are the many exceptions. So let's see the hierarchy of exception first. So I have some notes about regarding exception. So you can see the hierarchy of exception in Python first. You can see the base class exception. Then in that base, it's extended to exception class, and in that exception we have arithmetic exception, end of file, name, lookup, and many more. We'll see it later one by one. Zero division error, and these are the thing. This is the zero division which we encounter now when I run that program. Zero. So any number we divide by zero, it's going to throw that error. So this is the exception hierarchy in Python. Let's why actually we need exception. So this is the error that occur while executing a piece of code because of invalid input. The reason of exception may be invalid input or memory issue or any logical. While we writing code, if there is something wrong with our logic, then that exception is thrown, and it is recommended to handle that exception in your code for achieve a very good graceful execution of your program without blockage of any interruption. So let's see how actually, if you don't handle any exception, how what is the issue. So let's I'm taking a code, a piece of code. I will write a equal to b, sorry, a equal to 3, print a by b, sorry, a by 0. So here we are getting exception. Okay, now I want to handle this exception. So this is what I wrote here. Let's try to execute it first. It's asking the x value 2. Let's enter the 0 as y value. You can see the exception occurred in your program. It's the message in exception box. So what happened here is, as soon as our Python interpreter encountered any exception, it came into the except block. Let's see. I want to print hello Assam. Okay, let's print it to enter 0. So you can see whenever in our whole code there is an exception, our interpreter will find any exception, the execution of that flow will be break there. and the other execution won't happen. So that's why the print hello asm is not printed here. So that's why we have to know which code we have to write inside try block and which code we have to write outside the try block, and we should handle exception for that. Let's see something more. Suppose I want to print the message, this message. Okay. Again, x value 3 0. You can see program division by 0. That is the message. What is the exception? Let's move on to the exception class or exception name. So we have some methods like exception class name is similarly msg underscore underscore class is how you can write an exception class name. An exception name is msg dot underscore class underscore dot name. Now when I will execute the program, you can see enter 0. Class is zero division error. The exception class name is zero division error. And here I forgot to give underscore. I'm sorry. Now you can see the name also. You can see zero division error. The name exception name is zero division error and the class is zero division error. Okay. This is how you can handle the exception in Python. Now after we have some finally block, we have customized exception. So let's jump to the finally block. Why we need finally? Okay. So finally block is mean for resource deallocation. To execute a block of a statement, suppose we have number of a statement, and regardless of that whether our code is going to throw any exception or not, and what is the code try block, regardless of that we want something to execute. So that's finally block mean for. Let's write some code for that also. I will remove these codes. I will drop my GitHub link for these codes. You can find those links in the description box. Let's create a method def find anything, find listen here x comma y. Okay, I will write something print x in try block. I will write print x comma y except block. I will write zero division error as msg, and I will print the exception class. That's it, msg. That's it. Now I want to write something in finally block, regardless of whether the exception is thrown or not. I will print something print finally block executed. Okay. Now I need to call this method here find division. I will pass 3 division by 2. So now the output should be 1.5 and there should not be any error till now. You can see 1.5 and finally block executed. Now let's check what if the error will there. I will say 0 here. Now we can see the exception block is executed, zero division error, and the finally block also executed. So hence we can say that whether the try block or except block code is executing or not, we want to execute some code which should be write in finally block. Now we suppose we have some files and I want to open that file. So let's see the example about file not found here. Okay, find file. Okay, file. If equal to, I will open the file handle.txt. Okay, read file equal to f dot read. So here I'm trying to read a simple text file, which, and I'm trying to check whether this file is present or not. So for that I will give a try block, and I will write print read file, print read file. That's it. Now go to except block. I have file not found error as msg. And I will print file not found msg dot class. Finally, I want to close the file. So we have if I would have some example of that in my code as well. Let's see that. You can see in funny block, I want to close the file, file.close. So without doing anything, let's copy this code and let's try to execute there only. We copied the code. Let's try to paste the code here. So this is how I'm trying to read a file. If the file is not there, we'll throw some exception as well. So you can observe here in my function exception handling file is there, but there is no such file like asm.txt. So let's me execute this first, and I'm going to remove this code now for now, and I need to call this function first. Find file and the file name. No need to pass any arguments here because I'm calling file, giving the file name inside that function only. Let's start. You can see file.close. Ensure the file close even an exception occurs. You can see file not found error I'm getting. Cannot access local variable file where it is not associated with the value. Where is that file as file? Okay. So what if I create a simple file here? Python file and create, oh sorry, I need to create a simple file, text file. Txt, something I wrote. Sorry, I need to create a simple file only. Txt, yeah, and I will do this. Let's print something. Um, this is your text file. Let's save the file and now try to execute that exception handling class. Now you can see the file contents are printing here and file is closed successfully. So this block is executed. So this is how you can use finally block, and you can handle exception in your Python code. There is one more things that I need to discuss, that is customized exception. So that I will discuss in the next video. Hope you would have enjoyed this exception